Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it's Texas Football Today, a show with a small event to cover this week. My name is Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football magazine, TexasFootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live at TexasFootball.com, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter, wherever you watch shows. I don't know. It's a new media landscape. Or you'll listen to us in the podcast, also a new media landscape, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting in this chair over here, sitting over there in that chair, wearing a Christmas sweater. She's the Duchess of the Dorks. She's the Prime Minister of Thanksgiving. Miss 305, she's Ashley Pickle.
Happy State Championship Week.
Happy State Championship Week, and it's such a big week.
I feel like it's been weeks.
That's true. It's such a big week. We had to bring in some reinforcements. We are joined by the college editor for Dave Campbell's Texas Football, Mr. Ishmael Johnson.
What's up?
How are you? Rude.
I don't know who did
Our
that.
guest is here.
He's not a guest.
Also, college writer for Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and just overall man about town, Carter Yates.
We got a crowded desk, mega desk today.
It is mega desk. We are mega
Mega-desk.
desking today because it's a big show. It's the only show of the week, by the way. Today is Monday, December 11th, 2023. It is 353 days until Thanksgiving. Happy birthday to, does anybody have a friend who was born today? Anybody celebrating a birthday today? I don't know. Anybody?
No.
We're looking this up.
I don't
Okay,
think
we'll
so.
go to the web. And according to the internet, today is the birthday of Rey Mysterio.
Okay,
Who's
that's a good one.
49.
That's a good man. That's crazy. Jeez.
That's a man. That's a wrestler from my youth because I was a WCW guy.
Yeah,
growing
that's-
up.
God, that's 49. That's
Anyway, yes, happy birthday to him and Jermaine Jackson. Did we cancel Jermaine Jackson? Feels like the Jacksons have been fully canceled. Jermaine,
No.
is he good?
No, Jermaine's good.
Okay, we're good on Jermaine. It's also Mos Def is 50. Happy birthday, Mos Def.
Or Yasin Bey. He changed the name.
Oh, Yasin Bey?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. It's
There's
on here.
so much
It's
going
on
on
here
right
as
now.
Mos Def. Thanks,
I got it wrong.
famousbirthdays.com. It's episode 1709. Okay, folks. Hi. The state championships are here. Not right now in this room, but like they will be in a different room, a larger room in Arlington, in 48 hours. Literally 48 hours. There'll be a game going on.
Let's go.
I woke up today with a little bit of nervous energy. you know?
That's right.
It's
This is baby's first
baby's
state.
first state. I was telling Pickle today, I was like, I'm excited. I almost don't know what I'm getting into, though.
Yeah,
but I'm
you
going to
don't.
find out.
You are going to find
never
out.
will.
You will FAFO, okay? That is what's going to happen. So here's what we're going to do. So last year on this program, we did a game draft where we went through and we picked which games we were most excited about, and we basically drafted them. I want to take that same idea, but here's what we're going to do this year.
But move it somewhere else.
We are going to draft players. We're going to draft players that we are most excited about watching at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, because one of the great things about this year's slate of games, and it's usually the case, but not always, I would say, there is a staggering amount of star power in this year's games. Like, just a ton of dudes out there. So
And we
gonna-
can go off of vibes, right? Like,
Oh,
it doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm excited. Obviously, I'm excited to see the 5 stars that are there. But, like,
It
I
is-
have
no.
some vibes-based players.
This is players you are excited to watch.
Okay.
Okay? That's it. That's the only criteria. If you are, like, fired up about Gunner's punter, go for it. Like, go nuts. Gunner's punter. We need to get an NIL deal for that kid. Anyway, but before we get into that, do we have first four through the door?
We sure do. It was Big Jiggly Water Balloons.
Hell yeah, brother.
Jersey number 69.
Hell yeah, brother.
Aaron Arbuckle and Zill0678. Welcome in, fellas.
Welcome in, friends. We do thank you for joining us because it's a big day here for a little TFT. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a snake draft, okay? And we are going to go through. We're going to go 4 rounds. If we want to do 5 rounds, we can. Well, I don't know. We all got stuff to do. But we'll go 4 rounds, snake draft style, and select players we are most interested in watching at state. You, of course, can find complete coverage at texasfootball.com/state. If you haven't gone there, we got all the state coverage you could ever possibly need. I thought about the best way to determine the draft order, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to go youngest to oldest because it is baby's first state.
Okay.
And your baby gift, your baby shower gift, is you get pick 1-1. And so
That's very kind of you.
now that doesn't mean that also means you get pick 8. So it's not like there's any real winners. So you have your pick of any player at the state championships this weekend. Carter Yates, who gets pick 1-1 for you?
This with great power comes great responsibility.
It really is. This is a lot.
I'm gonna go with North Shore defensive back Devin Sanchez.
Oh, okay.
Let's go off the top rope. Duncanville, North Shore, 15th straight matchup at AT&T Stadium.
Yes.
So Duncanville, Keelan Russell at quarterback for them has been one of the fastest rising prospects, and Decorian Moore on the outside. We all know about the LSU commit, but North Shore, if they have any chance to win this game, they need Devin Sanchez, the 5-star junior, to lock down that passing game. I have not seen him in person yet. I have heard fantastic things. So if North Shore is going to win this game, it's going to be because Devin Sanchez had a big night.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
I think that's a really good
that's
pick.
good. That's a star power.
I think that's right, and especially because there may be another guy that maybe he's still on the board that he's going to be matched up with, which is going to be like big time pick. I also like that you went defense with the first one because there's going to be
I'm a defensive guy.
Yeah, you are a defensive guy. As a former quarterback, you're a defensive guy. I think Devin Sanchez is a good pick.
Yeah.
It's a good
I
pick.
like that. I like
Okay.
that.
Pick with the second pick in the
Yeah.
2023 UIL State Player Draft. Ashley Pickle. Who gets your pick for pick 1-2?
So I'm gonna stick with defense as well.
Whoa!
There we
Big,
go.
big defensive fans here. I'm gonna go with Belleville's junior defensive end DJ Sanders. The dude rocks.
Great pick.
Like I don't usually shout out Dudes Rock Dude of the Week.
Thank you.
This week's Dudes Rock Dude of the Week is going to be the second drafted player in DJ Sanders. He is he is a monster on the end. 88 total tackles on the year, 13 tackles for loss. Get this, 14 different sacks. He's basically averaging a sack per game.
And here's the thing. He's 14 sacks as functionally, and they move him around the formation a lot, but functionally an interior lineman.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's in like the B gap, and he's getting sacks.
Not to mention he's got 3 fumble recoveries just for fun.
He's
just for fun.
a monster.
Well, the highlight clip I saw from the state semis is he basically rips the ball out from the running back and then charges about 60 yards down the field. It's one of the scariest sights I've seen.
If he happens to pick one up and take it back to the house, I might like jump out of our booth at AT&T Stadium and be like, yes!
Yeah, it's
He rocks, and I am so excited to finally see him in person. I've
Yeah.
watched a bunch of his tape, but I'm excited to see him in person.
DJ Sanders is going to be – he's one of those guys. It's always hard to recommend to people games where there's great linemen because it's like, oh, no, like what – like, dude, this left tackle like is incredible. Like, because they're like normally – if you're noticing a lineman, it's not for good reasons.
Right.
If you're just a casual fan, but like this is a guy 99 for Belleville, your eyes are drawn towards.
And also, we're not casual. We know ball here.
We are
so
not
we're gonna be
casual.
eyes on.
We are not casuals around here, and you're not a casual because you're watching this show, obviously. All right, with the third pick, still a good board.
Still a good
Still a
board.
deep board.
And I feel like this is watching CJ Stroud drop. So it's Terry Bussey.
Uh-huh.
It's Terry Bussey at Simpson. Look, this is his last chance, obviously, reigning Mr. Texas football. And J.J. Garner's out for Timpson. You know, it is basically him, right? And he plays both ways. He's going to have an incredible two-way game going against a Toller team who has some other options that are probably going to be drafted as well. We've seen him tackle. I remember 2 years ago, there was clips of him tackling Doug Brooks. He went toe-to-toe with Dalton Brooks. He went toe-to-toe with Ernest Campbell last year. Like, look, this kid, if Timpson's going to win, it's 95% on his shoulders, more or less. So I'm very much looking forward to, even if he goes off, there's still a world where Timpson loses.
Oh,
but
for sure.
regardless, I think that as far as individual performances, I think he's the one on tap to have like an all-time.
If you're looking for this year's Jordan Whittington,
Yes.
like it
100%.
could be Wednesday night with
that's
Terry
what's
Bussey.
funny is saying 90% or 95% of the state championship is on one kid always makes me feel bad because that's a lot of pressure. But I think he's the type of person that welcomes that,
But
that
the-
understands that.
Absolutely. Like the moment's never too big for him, and like
And I also don't think he probably gets nervous about that. He
No.
seems,
No.
from any interaction I've seen, very even keel.
well, and JJ Garner out, right? He's out with a knee injury. I put this in the Slack. Their box score against Ganado. They threw the ball 27 or 24 times,
Yeah.
and they ran the ball 27 times. Chris Nickelberry,
Yeah.
their sophomore backup running back, who's now their starting running back, carried the ball 3 times. That's the extent of anyone besides Terry Bussey who didn't, control the ball. As far as usage rate is concerned,
Right.
Look,
it's shocking. They're making the whole plane out of him.
Yes.
Toller is the more balanced team.
Yes.
Timpson's got the guy.
That's it.
Yep.
And this will be a test if can the guy
Yeah.
ascend to a legacy game and bring Timpson over Toller.
And to go back to Jordan Whittington, now that Cuero team had other options.
Yeah. They
They
that
had
was
other
more
options.
like a kind of like break glass in case of
Yeah,
emergency type
and they were
of
just like,
situation.
we're just going to do everything with Jordan Whittington.
Yeah.
that was it. You didn't have to, but
so-
if you want to.
But you go back to that game. Pleasant Grove was the more balanced team. Pleasant Grove had the
100%.
more ways to win. They were the
100%.
more battle tested,
Ben
or not
Harmon,
battle
Bruce
tested, but
Garrett.
they'd been to state before. They're reigning state champs, I believe.
Yeah, they were.
But Jordan Whittington was just like, nah, dude. Like,
And
what if I do
we've
this?
talked about, we'll talk about Toller, obviously, but those dudes are thick.
Yeah.
They are some
they're
big
big
boys.
dudes.
They're big dudes. And I don't know if they catch Timpson and Terry Bussey.
Yeah.
I think they win that matchup.
Yep.
But do you catch him?
Do you catch him? I was talking with a coach earlier this week because I'm on the call for it for Bally on Wednesday night, and the coach who played him, he goes, you cannot tackle him in a phone booth. Like he's just like
Yeah.
he's so elusive, and like you think you've got him, and then it's like whoop, he's gone. So yeah, I'm excited to see Terry Bussey too. I think it's going to be great. All right, now for me, I am going to. Yeah. I am excited to see Anna quarterback Zyandre Williams.
Okay.
that was on
Okay.
my list.
I like that.
That's an intriguing one.
I get two picks here, and so I'm feeling like I can go a little bit, maybe a little bit off the board here. But Zyandre Williams, remember going into the year with Anna, with big questions. I got to replace Evan Bullock. Like that's an FBS quarterback. They were also losing Breezy Dubar, and then we went to 7-on-7. We watched Anna. And they had this sophomore, Zyandre Williams, and he was spitting it. And you're like, ooh, look at you. Here he is guiding Anna to their first ever state championship game.
Also, Jambers Dunbar as well.
Yeah.
You forgot they replaced him. He went to Boise State.
Yeah, Breezy Dubar. This is, I'm fascinated to watch him because he's obviously supremely talented. Also a sophomore.
Yep.
At AT&T Stadium against a really good Chapel Hill team.
We've seen
That's
that
peaking.
go both ways.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
If he plays up to the resume that they've played this year, he can do it.
Yes.
But is the bright-eyed bushy tails
Yes.
gonna show up in the worst way?
that's exactly right. You're like, oh no, like that's the question. But Zyandre Williams is worth the price of admission, and he is going to be a lot of fun to watch out there. So Zyandre Williams gets my fourth pick. We're now in the second round, which means I get to snake around and get the second pick, or my second pick in a row. There's a few different places you can go, but I'm not going to get tired of watching this kid, even though he's back at state for a third time.
Oh, okay.
I'm taking Benjamin's
I was
Grayson
about to say,
Rigdon.
Yeah.
I figured.
Yep.
I'm taking Benjamin's Grayson Rigdon.
How can you not?
If you want to talk about like Terry Bussey, like we Terry Bussey back to back, Grayson Rigdon and Terry Bussey.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah.
Terry Bussey is obviously a supremely talented, a 5-star prospect, like a dominant player. There is no more dominant player at any level than Benjamin athlete Grayson Rigdon. And he's led Benjamin back to a state championship game. I think they are, in my opinion, clear favorites over first-timer Oglesby. Although if there's a guy on the board when I get to pick 13, I might think about Kyler Fawcett. But Benjamin, he does everything for them. The craziest stat that I have for him is that he is their leading. He has the most interceptions on their team. He's their leading rusher. He is their leading passer. He is somehow also their leading receiver.
How did that happen?
It doesn't make sense.
The
doesn't
math
make sense.
do not be
The math
mathin'.
don't be mathin'. but he is electrifying. And I think he's like, as a junior, he's already a 3-time state championship game MVP.
He's going for his third consecutive offensive and defensive MVP
Correct.
sweep.
Yeah. No. He did not win defensive last year.
Okay.
I looked it up
Yep.
because I thought this.
Yeah,
because I had
no,
to
he
read the
missed
preview.
it last year.
They gave it to another to another one of the players on Benjamin.
It was the
But
guy
he
that
is-
forced the fumble at the
Yeah.
at a
So
key
revenge
moment.
game.
Yeah, exactly. He's not
Grayson
playing
Richardson revenge
against
game.
Oglesby. He's playing against the chance to
Right.
not lose the defensive MVP this
Right,
year.
Right. All right. Back to Ish, the 6th pick.
So I thought about going because I went 5-star, even though
To fall to 3
I was
is
about
a
to say,
steal.
yeah.
If you
I will
take
say
my player,
I'm a fan of reaching sometimes.
Okay.
for the
Oh,
draft
okay.
picks.
Yeah, because you don't have another pick
don't
till 11.
do it.
So
I think I know where he's going with this.
Listen,
do it.
me and Pickle were in Abilene.
No, don't
Let's
do
go!
it. Don't do it. No, gosh darn it.
Give me my boy Walker.
No, I almost went him round 1,
Quarterback
and I was like, no one
from
else is going to
Gunner.
do it. They don't have the courage. Gosh
Walker
darn it.
Overman.
Gosh
Yes.
darn it.
Quarterbacking my favorite offense in the state.
Yes.
Which is a consistent thing. I've always said every single year that this offense is a buzzsaw.
I tweeted
love
he was my
watching.
favorite. Rude.
You should have picked him number 1.
You had him number 2.
Ah.
You're the second
Yeah,
pick.
I was about to
You
say,
picked
some-
before Ish.
Some people tweet about it. Some people are about it.
Ah.
Walker Overman. Look, this kid is
The
5'5",
best.
5'6", whatever.
He's here
Doesn't
right
matter.
now.
He's somewhere under the table right now.
Yeah.
145 pounds. Look, this kid runs like
A
you would
230
expect
pound
Terry Bussey,
Yeah.
or something. Or like a remember Doug Brooks?
Yeah.
He runs like Doug Brooks somehow. He lowers his shoulder. He has he's the perfect quarterback for that offense because how low they get in the snap because that pistol option. And so obviously he crouches low and it's so deceptive in how he just uses his hands to option the ball, but then he's just flat out quick.
Yeah.
Right. He's able to get to the corner so quickly. There's the touchdown that I think Lance Lawrence tweeted out where he runs over a kid, but there's another one where he hits the edge and it looks like he converges with a defensive back and you thought, oh, that's it. And then he just kind of pops out and just dives to the end zone. It's
That was we were standing in the end zone, and that
We're on
was
the
the
opposite
single
end, yeah.
most impressive run that we saw that entire game.
Yeah.
He hit him, and we went, ooh. And then we went, oh. And
Yeah,
then
we were
there
on the,
he goes.
We were on the other end, and all we saw was jerseys converging. We're like, oh, okay, stop.
It's like he just got blown
and then
up.
just, boop, and then just dies in the
Yeah.
end zone. So insanely fun. He might be my favorite quarterback that they've had there because they've had some really good Ethan Sloan, Dylan Jantz. I remember played quarterback a bit for them. But Walker Overman is probably my most favorite. so far.
He's like a pit bull, and if you're a linebacker, you don't see him until he's at your belly button giving
Yes.
you the gut shot.
Yes,
and
yes.
you're screwed.
Yes,
He-
100%.
You could talk me into pound for pound the toughest kid in Texas.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
seriously.
Yes.
Legitimately.
Like as far as a physical, like a guy who has no business being that physical,
Yes.
like running that physical.
No, we stood next to him on the sideline. I was like, hey, little fella,
He
how
is-
are
I
you
mean,
doing? And
he
then
is,
all of a sudden,
like I think they list him at 5'7".
they list him 5'7", 145.
Yeah. Well, that was a lie.
There's no way.
Yeah. He's not. He's not. He's.
I said
and he's
he's
the first player on the field that I'm picking to have my back in a fight.
Oh yeah.
110%.
He's the first
He's the
player.
crazy
Yeah.
man in the fight, and you
Yes.
always side with the crazy man in the
Yeah,
fight.
Bomani Jones always had this thing about the short players in basketball, where it's those are the toughest dudes because they've always been made fun of for their height. And it's this he's probably always been the small kid in class, and he's like, yeah, I will kill you.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a freak show. He's a lot of fun to watch. Gunner quarterback Walker Overman off
Gosh
the board.
darn it.
Well, Pickle, go. That's why you got to build a board. You got to build a board here. Now you got to trust your board. What's the 7th pick in the draft? Remember, players we are most excited to see. This is not a measurement of the best players. These are the players we're most excited to see.
Since my main small school bludgeon got taken, I'll take the other one, Albany running back Adam Hill.
Yeah.
Very,
that's a good
very,
pick.
from a small school perspective, I am so excited to see him. Obviously, Albany, a team that we saw at this stage last year. Adam Hill, a huge contributor to that. But I just never get sick of watching just one guy take over a game like that, and he has the capability to do it. He's been playing out of his mind. That offensive line is fun to watch, which makes it even more fun to watch Adam Hill. So I think the big nasties up front definitely deserve some credit there. They kind of get lumped into my pick if I could. But watching what Adam Hill has done, not to mention he's got 244 yards of receiving too, so he's dangerous in the backfield if he ever has to get back there. But from a small school perspective, if it's not Walker Overman, then Adam Hill is the one that I'm really looking forward to.
When he gets going downhill,
it looks like a bulldozer.
It is. It's Jover.
It's
like, it really
it's one
is.
of those where it looks like he has the radioactive force field, and every time they get close, it's kind of like ping, ping.
Yeah, he is. He is so hard to bring down, and he was such a force for them in their title game against Mart last year. And like Mart just didn't. That Mart couldn't match up front.
They're Mart if they can't stop him.
And a big part of that was just like you have this hard charging running back who's just like you get tired of tackling him.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Austin Lozano effect when he played for May and just was carrying people along with him.
All right, we're gonna close out round 2. Carter Yates, what's the 8th pick?
I'm gonna go Tidehaven running back Joseph Dodds.
Yeah.
He is
This is a physical round here.
Just wait for my next pick after this one too. Tidehaven running back Joseph Dodds. He's the Baylor commit. He's been on fire in this playoffs. The reason I'm so excited to watch him is because Gunter's defensive line is, again, keeping the theme of undersized, but they are so quick that Canadian in that game is the bigger offensive line. They get up off the line of scrimmage and
Didn't matter.
where are they? It's a pack of piranhas in the backfield.
By the time they're in their stands, they were already looking behind them to figure out where they went.
So Joseph Dodds, he's going to have to break tackles in the backfield almost every play in this game. And if he can do that, and Tidehaven is going to win this game, it's because Joseph Dodds went nuclear.
Yeah, he's there's a couple other guys who are going to be like true bell cows at State. This is probably the preeminent bell cow out there of like, he's going to get the ball 36 times or something like that. Like, you're going to dance with the one that brung you. And especially because the path, in my opinion, to a Tidehaven win would be ball control. Like, it's going to be a steady dose of Joseph Dodds over and over and over. And he is a hard-charging running back. So it's a good pick. All right, we're going to take a break here before we get to round 3 to pay some bills. We're doing our draft of the players we are most excited to see at the state championship games. Complete coverage at texasfootball.com/state 2023 Texas High School Football State Championship games. Before we get to round 3, let's hear a word from our partners.
I feel like bustin' loose, come on. Get on up. Oh yeah, get on up. Bustin' loose when you wanna sing. Bustin' loose, baby, do your thing. Talking about bustin' loose, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support, virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
Wing is the largest residential drone delivery provider in the world, delivering to your home in less than 30 minutes. Order using an app just like other popular delivery services, and Wing's automated drone takes care of the rest. It's fast, safe, and sustainable, and it's now delivering to parts of Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. You can learn more at wing.com/TexasFootball. Again, that's wing.com/TexasFootball.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
Back here on the Texas Football Today State Championship Preview Special. I'm Greg Tepper, joined by Ashley Pickle, Carter Yates, and Ishmael Johnson. We are drafting the players we are most excited to see in Arlington this week. There's a lot of them because there's 12 games. We've already got a 6A. We don't have 5A yet. We have 4A, 3A, 2A, and 1A. So 5A is the only one that we haven't tapped into yet. I have a feeling that will not be the case the entire way through. We're back to pick number 9 with Carter Yates, Baby's First State.
I'm going with another running back that's got the body of Adonis. It's Franklin running back Jaden Jackson.
Yes,
this was good. If it wasn't getting past me in 4 picks, so good pick.
So last year's Franklin State Championship team had 2 great running backs in Baylor's Bryson Washington and the sophomore at the time, Jaden Jackson. And Jaden Jackson decided, hey, I was 6'205". I'm now 6'225".
Yeah.
And way better.
He's a freight train.
Yeah, he
rocks.
He had a breakout game last year to a lot of people who didn't. I mean, again, he wasn't
had a
on
breakout playoff.
I was gonna say he wasn't on everybody's radar because Bryson Washington
Exactly.
and then everybody in the state was just like, "Who's that kid that looks like a senior?"
Yeah.
and you realize he's a sophomore. He's like, "Oh, this
He can't drive a car
scary."
yet.
Yeah. That's a great pick.
He can't drive a car yet, but he's driving the bus to the stadium.
He is and he is like especially in that slot T offense, like he just understands it so well, and like you're right, he's put on 25 pounds of like good evil weight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Evil weight.
Like when he's
That's a
getting
good term,
when,
evil
when
weight.
he's getting running downhill, it's like shocking. And
Yeah.
it's one of those what I love about the state championship games is that at 3:00 you're gonna get to watch Jaden Jackson, and then at 7:00 you're gonna watch Walker Overman. And it's just like these guys are the same. They play the same sport. In fact, like they were on teams that played against one another in
that's
2021.
true.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like it's remarkable. I love state
Well,
championships.
Walker Overman, if he was Jaden Jackson's size, would be arrested for the way he plays.
Or just be like somebody like he goes out on the field like one snap, and then the cops over just like,
nope,
come over here, come on,
Can't play.
come on.
He has to go sit in the Salvation Army kettle for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
All right, Pickle, you are up. The 10th pick of the draft, round 3.
Okay, I'm going to go with a guy that maybe I'm biased because I've watched him play so much football this year because I watch all the Texan Live games all the time. I am so excited to watch Humble Summer Creek's running back Lloyd Avant.
Dang it!
Yep.
Dang it!
I want to see that on camera one more time because I had that same feeling earlier.
happy.
I have watched so much Summer Creek ball. Shout out being a Texan Live school. I am so excited to finally see him in person. The fact that Summer Creek has made it to a state championship before Atascocita has
It's shocking. I
is
know.
jarring. This is a
Yeah.
program that's only been around since 2010. They really haven't been around that long. What they've been able to do has been Xavier Atkins is a fantastic player on the defensive side, but the reason I'm so excited to watch Lloyd Avant is because I think that in that game against DeSoto, their defense is outmatched by the DeSoto offense. That's clear. Everybody knows that. I think the Summer Creek defense would admit that.
I don't think Xavier Atkins would admit it,
correct.
but go on.
But what I'm excited
Go
to
off,
see
queen.
is at some point Summer Creek is going to have to score. They're going to have to try and go toe-to-toe with that DeSoto offense, and the person that's going to do it is going to be Lloyd Avant. So I think not as much as a Terry Bussey and Timpson of putting on the cape, but in that same vein, Avant's going to have to put on the cape. And he did it against Steele. I'm interested to see if he can do it against DeSoto.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
I like that.
It's a good pick. It was on my board, and I thought he was going to fall to me at 12, but he didn't. Good pick, Summer Creek running back Lloyd Devon. And this has been a big. We have a type here. It's like
Run the damn ball.
It is. It's run the damn ball. It's like tough, hard charging like runners.
It's running backs who run angry.
Yeah, exactly. That's our
Yeah,
type.
angry
Like that's
running.
our.
Maybe at this point in the year we just have some steam to blow off, and
Yeah.
so we're like, I just
We have
want
a-
to see you absolutely run through a brick wall.
If like Dave Campbell's had like a dating profile, it'd be like looking for a hard charging running back. All right, Ish, you're up. Pick 11 in
right.
round 3.
I will break our 5A drought. I'm going defense.
Oh.
I'm going South Oak Cliff's Brandon Jones.
Okay.
Nice.
So he is consistently has been one of the best performing linebackers in the state for consistently a defense that lives up to its death row name. If South Oak Cliff is to win again in three-peat, he needs to be able to control that middle of the field because PNG is going to be able. I think they're going to try to, as we saw from a lot of last year, really establish the line of scrimmage. And without a lot of playmakers from last year's defensive line in particular, obviously we can talk about the back half without Malik Muhammad and all that, but they also don't have a Billy Watson up front, right? A lot's going to fall on Brandon Jones in that defense. And so I'm going him because I think there are 2 linebackers, probably 3, I guess, when you look at this whole weekend where the game's going to be like more or less on their shoulders defensively to kind of clean up a lot of what may get through that defensive line. So Brandon Jones, I think he's been one of the just most consistent linebackers for the past couple years now.
I think that's a good pick. I think it's a good pick, and it's interesting because for South Oak Cliff, one of the things that I think is really remarkable about this year's team is, and I mentioned this in the picks video, they do feel like they're greater than the sum of their parts.
Yeah.
Like last year, it was, in hindsight,
Yeah.
it's easy to see why they won a state championship.
That,
They
that
signed
defense was in, like, the offense fixed itself enough later,
Yes.
but we look back and, like, that defense was probably one of
They
the
had
better ones we've seen.
they had a Power 5 secondary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it's easy to see that now.
Yeah.
But, like, this is not that team.
Sure,
This team
sure.
has got some great players.
Yeah.
Like, and it is a team of I don't want this to come off as an insult because I don't mean it that way. These guys are incredible high school football players.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, these are not 5-star prospects out
Yes.
there.
This
Right,
is
right.
Jason
That's
Todd.
yes.
This is Jason Todd and staff's best coaching job.
Yes,
Yes.
this is a,
To
this
lose
is a
the third
master
one.
class
Yeah.
in defense in coaching, and it's really interesting to watch. Brandon Jones is a great pick because he is really the heartbeat of that defense. Him and if anyone wants to take Jaden Shelton, I think he's in that
Sure,
mix as
yeah.
well. All right, I get 2 picks to round out my pick. We're rounding out round 3. Pick number 12. Going back to the 4A-D2 game.
Okay.
Let's talk about Gilmer's Will Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because Will Henderson is a sensational running back and has been like at the one of the key components in what is the state's second highest scoring 4A Division II offense, averaging 54.2 points a game or something like that. It's crazy. They have moved him over to defense as well, and I think he's been a big difference maker on the defensive side as well. And so he's going to play both ways, which at 482, that's starting to push it of like, oh, really? Like, you got to be special to be playing both ways. Will Henderson is special. I think what Alan Menzel has done is he said, we're going to put our best guys on the field, plain and simple. And he is probably, I think, their best overall player. Will Henderson is. And I've said this before. I'll say it again. It's gut check time for the Gilmer defense. They have to make plays. They have to come up with stops. And Will Henderson, along with guys like Aaron Bell and company, have to come up with stops against this Belleville attack. I think Will Henderson's going to be critical on both sides of the ball. I'm really fascinated to see what kind of impact he has on the 4A-D2 title game between Gilmer and Belleville. So that rounds out round 3. We now go to round 4. Final round. I could do like a hipster pick.
Sure.
And I could be like Franklin's quarterback or something.
Hey.
Court Lowry. Court Lowry does
Court
rock.
Lowry is got like 1,200 yards of passing
Yeah, he does
from a
rock.
Franklin quarterback.
Is he your honorable mention?
He's my honorable mention. Court
Correct.
Lowry does rock. But I'm gonna be Johnny Generic here.
Go for it.
I cannot believe there's an LSU committed running back still on the board.
I know.
Duncanville running back Caden Durham. Like, yes, of course. I'm gonna go with Caden Durham. I thought about Colin Simmons because Colin Simmons I think is going to be absolutely critical to what Duncanville does because I think they need to pressure Caleb Bailey to win this game. But Caden Durham's worth the price of admission, and especially this has been a North Shore defense that has been really good at stopping the run. They've been really good defensively as a whole, but they've been good at stopping the run. Here comes Caden Durham, who's a monster. How well do they? How well can the North Shore defense deal with Caden Durham, because he is a problem back there. And for all we talk about Keelan Russell and DeCorian Moore and the playmakers they've got, Caden Durham is the heartbeat of that team. They go as he goes. DeSoto was able to more or less slow down Caden Durham, and that's why DeSoto won. North Shore's got to do the same thing, and so I'm going with Caden Durham.
Do you think this is billboard material for Caden Durham that he fell to fourth round in
It
Dave
is.
Campbell's snake
It's
draft?
crazy. Yeah, he went behind a 6-man player. He went behind a 145-pound quarterback from Grayson County.
225 yards.
Yeah,
against North
exactly.
Shore.
Yeah, he's going to go for 225 against North Shore, and it's going to be like, how do you fall to 13th overall? So that's my pick. I'm going with Duncanville running back Caden Durham.
All right.
Ish, you've got pick 14.
All right. I will also be Johnny Generic here, but for the other school in Southern Dallas, give me quarterback DJ Bailey from DeSoto.
Yeah.
The reason why DeSoto has been able to get over the hump, the Duncanville hump, or just the state championship hump in the past couple seasons, has been the quarterback position. You look back at the past DeSoto teams since Sean Robinson and that team, it's been the inability to really maximize those skill positions, right? They've always had good receivers. They've always had good productive running backs. They've always had good offensive lines, right? But it was always that quarterback that never could quite connect at the same time, or maybe they were a little bit more gifted in the run game than the pass game. Bailey's got it all. If he was 6'2", he'd be a 4-star recruit somewhere. It is just because of his size that he went under the radar. He can make any throw. We've seen that at 7-on-7. We've seen that in game. We saw that last season. And I think that the biggest showcase game was against DJ Lagway in the regional final. Was it regional final?
Yeah.
Regional final.
Regional semifinal, yeah.
Yes.
Semifinals Thanksgiving weekend.
Thank you. Where he went toe-to-toe. Obviously, his supporting cast is different. But regardless, when you go up against arguably the most gifted quarterback in the state, you have a chip on your shoulder, and he went out and absolutely went toe-to-toe with him. So I'm very excited to see what we get for his final act, because I think that this DeSoto team, and him in particular, they're going to be in for kind of a showcase event, because DeSoto's fan base has been really behind him in like the fact that he was under recruited, and the fact that he's still putting up numbers. So I think we're in for a massive game from him.
He also has a resting heart rate of 50 beats per minute.
Oh, he is
all
so
the time.
calm every single snap. Doesn't matter. It's just like when the pocket collapses, he's like, let me just step up, let me just take off, and it's just like you can just see kind of the gears just clicking into place when things happen.
The game moves really slow for him, which is like it's really interesting to watch. And like, I think there's an argument to be made that like Tiger Ryden, I think here's a hot take.
Yeah,
there's an argument to be made. He's their 4th best offensive player,
probably,
right? Between Tiger Ryden and then between Boobie Feaster, the freshman wide receiver, and then Dalen Singleton out wide too.
Sure.
I think you can make an argument he's their 4th best. But as far as like fun to watch and most important, I think he's number 1 with the ball.
It's also just cool that Tiger Ryden's at full force 100% after missing most of the season just in time for state championship.
He's just fresh. Absolutely.
Tiger Ryden, fresh legs.
All right. Pickle, your 4th and final pick. Although we can do a hipster round if you want.
Well, this might be a hipster pick. I'm gonna head back to 4A Division 1. You talked about Anna's quarterback, Ziondre Williams. I'm going to talk about the guy that has the biggest impact to stop him, and that's linebacker Davian Ross for Chapel Hill. I think that this game is going to be a shootout, which is Anna's ball game. I don't think that's normally Chapel Hill's ball game. They get into some high-scoring games, but they can also
stop
score
for sure, yeah.
I think the weakest link of Chapel Hill, not last week when they played, or not when they played Kilgore, but every other week since then, has been the lines have looked a little bit soft in really physical games. And so Ross has had to step up in putting that pressure on opposing offenses. And I think seeing the mixture between him and the sophomore quarterback of Ziondre Williams will be the guy that really disrupts things. Also, he'll have to stop Immers on the edge if he ever gets out past him, or being the additional help there to kind of holding that field to a shorter level. So I'm going to go with Davian Ross.
Yeah,
From Chapel
that's good.
Hill.
That's a good call. That's a little
Little
hipstery.
hipster,
Little
but
hipstery.
but like
But in a game where we're going to be talking a lot about the offenses,
Yes.
like here's a guy who's going to have a really important impact on
Yes.
what
because if they're going to, I don't know how well that defensive line can stop
yeah.
that Anna
was gonna
offense.
say,
So
it's-
it's going to come down to the linebackers.
Yeah, I was gonna say it comes down to like that. When you get in those type of games, it becomes down to the one stop.
Yes.
Right, the one or two
Absolutely.
stops.
and
that
he'll
you're
be the
gonna
guy to get it.
Yeah. All right.
I'm going to close it out. I'm going to keep it on Chapel Hill. I'm going quarterback Demetrius Brisbane.
Mm-hmm.
He is an SMU commit, along with his running back Ricky Stewart, who is
Mm-hmm.
also an SMU commit. And their read option game is lethal.
It is.
They are both extremely fast. Brisbane's really good through the air too, but the ground game is where he's gonna butter his bread, or if that's how the saying goes. I'm very interested to see how Anna's linebackers, C.J. Miller and Grayson Stewart, they're both all-state, all-district selections, how they're able to keep up with them. And I think this could be a coming out party almost for Demetrius Brisbane.
Yeah, I like that.
I couldn't choose between Demetrius and Ricky Stewart, so that's why I went with the defense.
Yeah. Well, I kind of chose both
Because
of
I'm
them.
so excited
You know
to
what?
see
Neither.
them. Yeah, I was like, I like them both. I can't do this. I have
All
to
right.
go someone else.
So here's the results of the draft.
Okay.
Carter got North Shore cornerback Devin Sanchez, Tidehaven running back Joseph Dodds, Franklin running back Jaden Jackson, and Chapel Hill quarterback Demetrius Brisbane. Not bad.
Yeah, my
Not
team's
bad.
great.
We're gonna tweet this out and have people judge who had the best draft.
Mm-hmm.
Pickle has Belleville defensive lineman DJ Sanders, Albany running back Adam Hill, Humble Summer Creek running back Lloyd Avant, and Chapel Hill linebacker Davian Ross.
Pickle's team is you don't want to get in a fight with those
No,
guys.
you do not.
Like, they will,
Well, speaking of which, Ish has Timpson quarterback Terry Bussey, Gunner quarterback Walker Overman, South Oak Cliff linebacker Brandon Jones, and DeSoto quarterback DJ Bailey. Pretty good. I've got Anna quarterback Ziondre Williams, Benjamin athlete Grayson Rigdon, Gilmer running back and linebacker Will Henderson, and Duncanville running back Caden Durham. All right. We're going to put this out. We're going to let people vote on who had the best draft. Some honorable mentions.
Yes.
Okay? Shea Adams for Port Neches Groves. Okay?
Yes. Yep.
I think he's a critical part of what they do, and he's going to have a big impact on that game and really kind of stress this South Oak Cliff defense. I'm really interested in seeing him. Malakoff has a quarterback.
Who? Mike Jones.
Do you
You're
know
welcome.
his phone number?
I can never remember it off the top of my head.
281-330-8004.
Yeah.
But he
Mallory-
rocks.
By the way, Mallory the other day, she goes, "Why does he keep saying that phone number? He just keeps tweeting it out." I was like, "Let me
Oh.
learn you something, little lady."
Let me tell you about Swishahouse. But Mike Jones rocks.
Yes.
He's awesome.
Dude,
and
he can kill people with his legs.
and they've started running him more. I think they wanted to protect him because they're so reliant on
He
him.
is dangerous.
But
with his
when he
legs.
runs, he's very, very dangerous. Toller quarterback Isaac Blessing is going to be a name that you know coming out of that Wednesday night game.
Also, Toller running back Peyton Brown.
Yes.
'Cause he's been hurt all year, and that's where who's the other running back? I forgot his
Garrison Nation,
Garrison
yeah.
Nation. Garrison Nation came
Garrison
into
Nation.
it and came into the season as the backup.
Garrison Nation.
Yeah. I mean,
We are the
honestly,
nation.
I was
We
about to
were-
say,
Garrison Nation.
we were standing on the sideline at the Toller game,
Yeah.
and we looked, and we were like, okay, if Garrison was to beat, who did they have to beat?
Oh, I forgot.
Someone, and then Timpson. Oh, they would have had to beat Refurio, and then
Timpson,
Timpson, and all this stuff. We
We
were
were
like,
hoping to get
we could have
Garrison
Garrison and
Nation
Garrison
facing
Nation.
Yeah, Garrison versus Garrison.
That's
Would've
all we
rocked.
wanted.
But Peyton Brown, and similarly to Isaac Blessing, big dudes.
Yes.
Like
Thick.
6+, 200 plus.
Yes.
Like both these guys.
In 2A,
Yeah,
which
Yes.
is like,
2A.
yeah.
And I believe Peyton Brown's a junior.
Yeah.
too,
Yes,
if I'm
he's
not
a
mistaken,
junior.
which is nuts.
And Isaac Blessing is a middle linebacker recruit who's
Yes,
playing
yes.
quarterback
Yes.
just because
Yeah.
to help the team.
They're just
Yeah.
sledgehammers.
He was bigger than Carter, basically, when he interviewed
he's a big
him.
old boy.
Yeah, I was looking up at him.
We mentioned Ricky Stewart as
yes.
well. Another one. Actually, I'll get two. One for 5A, Freddie DeBose.
Yes,
Can't
for
forget about
Smithson
Freddie
Valley.
DeBose. If
Yes.
they are going to do anything in that game, it's going to be that Alito just forgets about him or doesn't cover
Yeah.
him correctly. Or
He's a
something.
Texas commit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly.
Which,
They have a Texas
speaking of
commit at line.
Alito, Haas Haney.
Yeah,
is
I mean,
insane.
yeah,
Of
it's
course.
You
weird that
can't-
he's I think we. It's one of those things like we take Alito for granted.
I
where
was
it's
like,
like, oh, they
I
just
think
got dudes.
everyone
Like,
just knew that Haas Haney was going to end up playing
Yeah.
in another state championship,
Yep.
so it just kind of leaves your mind.
by
And
the
then,
way,
and then our boy Cannon Lemberg, shout out.
Cannon Lemberg.
Cannon Lemberg.
Gunner, wide receiver.
There's also going to be there's a Mr. Texas football finalist who went undrafted. Summer Creek linebacker Xavier Atkins is
Yeah.
going to be there, and he's going to be critical to them because if DeSoto's able to run the ball, it's probably over for Summer Creek. Like, they
Yes.
have to stop the run, and Xavier Atkins is a force in the middle of that defense.
I've got one. Malakoff defensive end Doc Renberg.
Yeah.
yes.
Boy.
Lunch pail player of the week.
Yes.
I saw play for the first time the state semis, and I was like, how does this guy not have a Division I offer right now? He's 6'2", 220. He had
built.
the game-winning strip sack. He had a 70-yard touchdown catch at one point. Dude's electric.
He's great.
Which, by the way, was some of the most impressive hands I've ever
Yeah.
seen make a catch because he bobbled it about 3 times before he brought it in.
Mart running back J.D. Bell. I mean, they're gonna have speed between him and DeMontrell Medlock. Like, they're gonna get out and run. And they've got some dudes that I'm really interested in watching.
Here's an exercise that we might do after I'll probably just do it after state. All name team.
Oh yeah.
Because we have
Garrison Nation.
We have a Bubba Hicks.
We have a Bubba Hicks.
For Malakoff.
And a Bubba Jackson for Franklin. We could have
And a
Bubba
Bubba
versus Bubba. Bubba versus Bubba.
Let's go. The Bubba Bowl.
The Bubba Bowl.
Listen, so I'll probably work on that.
I mean,
all name
Hoss
team.
Haney is, again, a
Hoss
name
Haney's
we
a
take
great
for
name.
granted.
Yes.
It's
Hoss
a great
Haney's a
name.
great
Yes.
name.
Hawk Patrick Daniels.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to say Alito is swarming with, like, elite player names.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Tiger Ryden.
Tiger Ryden. Yeah, exactly.
Does that count because it's a nickname?
Yes.
Okay.
Doc
I was about to-
Renberg.
I've never heard him. I've never heard a lot of people who know him or cover him.
Call him DeAndre.
Right. I've never
Yeah.
heard him call him DeAndre. Right.
Yeah. Doc Renberg is
There's
on that
always
list.
a lot of good ones on the 1A rosters, too, when we finally get our hands on those.
Oh, yeah.
Those are...
Well, we don't know exactly right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
Striker Reed plays
Yes.
for Gordon.
Ooh.
Booby Feaster.
Booby
Feaster.
Feaster. It's a great year for names. It's fantastic.
Are we going to get any UIL state draws this year?
Oh yeah.
Not at liberty to say.
Oh,
Okay.
stay tuned to at
we'll
Ishmael
see.
R. Johnson on Twitter.
We will see. All I can say is the inception was out of my control. So we will see.
Oh, that sounds.
The people demand UIL
The people
state draws.
do. The people love UIL state draws. We'll have complete team coverage of the UIL state championship games starting on Wednesday. We're going to be out there. We don't have a show tomorrow because we got to take all this equipment to AT&T Stadium and get it all set. So what is going on?
There are people on our roof.
Oh, okay.
Just like moonwalking. on the roof right now.
Let's see. If you are a subscriber and you have not gotten the invite for the breakfast on Saturday, the subscriber meetup, I don't know what to do. Don't DM me, but DM Pickle, Ashley_Pickle12.
Email subservice.
Email subservice at texasfootball.com.
You can also
kinda-
DM Pickle.
Or DM Pickle.
Or you can email subservice.
Do
DM
both to cover your bases.
Pickle can run point on the subscriber breakfast, I think.
What does Pickle not run point
Cover your
on?
bases. Email Pickle and then
Email-
message Pickle.
No,
and then
email Pickle too. That'll be
email
good
Pickle
too. Don't give
You want
her
to just
emails.
give my phone number out while you're at
Yeah,
it?
actually,
Pickle on any email
Here's
to
my
subservice.
address is.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Honestly, show up at our front door.
Or
That's the
Do
best way-
not.
the best way to make sure you're covered.
I will sick
is to,
Ava
like-
and Mallory on you, and
is
you
to
do
just,
not
like-
want an angry Mallory
is
opening
to like
the door.
wait outside her car. You know what I mean? That's the best way.
This is terrible.
Don't
Dress
do any
in
of
all
those things.
black.
It's
Y'all are canceled.
It's her favorite
Literally
color.
canceled.
email subservice at texasfootball.com. We'll get you in. Anything else? What else? Final
What?
thoughts?
Real fast. Yeah, because I am in charge of final thoughts here. Final thoughts. Which game are you most excited for?
Ooh.
That is a good question.
I have mine. I am
have
most
mine, too.
excited for Franklin and Malakoff.
I'm gonna call-
381
I'm gonna call for that
holds
one.
my heart, and I am so excited for that game.
Yeah.
I think for me,
Toller Timpson gets my honorable mention.
yeah, Toller.
Why? You can't take the honorable
No,
mention before
I'll
we're
let
all
you.
done.
I'll
Yeah,
let you-
well,
I'll
y'all
let
took
you,
too
'cause that was
long.
on my list. So I'll let you have that. I'm gonna go with Anna Tyler Chapel Hill.
I like
because
it.
I genuinely
That one's my
do
second
not
one.
know where that one leans right now. I picked
That was the
Chapel Hill.
hardest one to pick.
Yeah, that I
I
lean
think.
Chapel Hill right now because, of course, typically we go by the rule of best players on the field.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we've seen them stumble. Anna's looks really good right now, so that's the one I don't have a really solid feel for.
I'll do the one that's my favorite, and then I can very quickly tack on my honorable mention because everyone else has done it. Because that's how honorable mentions work.
Well, I do want Carter to talk about the.
It's
the
not my
Timpson
fault, y'all
Toller.
waited
Timson
too
Toller,
long.
Timson Toller's just Terry Bussey might do something special.
Yeah, it is.
TB versus the world.
It is. It is Terry Bussey show. Gilmer Belleville, pointsy,
Yeah.
pointsy, 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 pointsy. I like points. And then on the other end of that, guys, 11 a.m. Wednesday, Gordon and Westbrook are like two of the best six-man defenses we've seen in a long time playing on
Yeah.
the state championship stage. That could legit be like a 32-20 six-man game.
Yeah.
Which is
Unheard of.
unheard of.
Yeah.
So make sure you tune
I
into
would be
that one.
shocked if that one got 45.
I would.
I would
yes.
This is
I
the
think-
most comfortable I'm saying going into a 6-man state championship since I've been here.
I just don't know
that
if-
would be the most shocking 45
I don't know if either team is going to score 46 points.
points. Yeah.
45 points. So, yeah, we might see. Actually, last week, I think it was Benjamin. Did you see the final score of the Benjamin game? They 45'd Klondike, but it was like 64-4 because Klondike kicked a field goal, and field goals are worth 4.
Sad field goal.
It was a bit of a sad field goal. But yeah, anyway, I'm fascinated for that one. And yeah, it'll be a great week at State. So it'll be fun. We'll be out there. Carter loves surprise hugs. So
Well,
Show up in his car wearing black.
it's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. For Ashley Pickle, Carter Yates, and Ishmael Johnson, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please get your Player of the Year trophy. We will see you in Arlington on Texas Football Today.
Go Walker Overman.
let's get out of here before this guy falls from the ceiling.